First we should understand what avatar means. Avatar means descending of divinity. And wherever you find knowledge, there the divinity has descended. Ah. The formless to be seen in form. If you go see Srimad Bhagavatam, it says, even in Hans, that is swan, the divine has descended in swan, in the fire, in the tree, in all animals. The entire creation is nothing but manifestation of divinity. And when you get a message from wherever you get a message, you call that as avatar. So when sage Dattatreya, he had 24, he has counted like that, 24 different forms of life. He received knowledge from a swan. The swan is a form of Vishnu. So you should know that God is present in every particle of the universe, everywhere. The cheapest commodity available is divinity. Yeah? In earth, water, fire, air, ether, everything. Everything is made up of one thing, one vibration, one that is Brahman, that is divinity, that is God, called by any name. Right? So, when that divinity is shining through knowledge and giving knowledge, kindling love, and that one considers avatar. Yeah.
Gurudev, it is said that everything is a dream. So in whose dream I am in? In yours or you are in mine, or we both are in a common dream? If it is a dream, how does it have rules and patterns?
Well, what is a dream? It is an impression of memory. Correct? You wake up now, this moment, see the entire past appears like a dream. I mean, it is memory. It's an impression. So everything is an impression in the mind. What you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you touch, all these form impression on the consciousness. Yeah? So as long as we are all in each other's dream, that everything is okay. And still you can all have your own dreams. Okay?
Which is similar to that. I have a habit of living in a fantasy world. Psychology class paranyo, and I realized that fantasy is a defense mechanism, escapism. In that world, I don't have any defects. When I meditate also, this happens. Idane engane overcome cheyam?
The moment you realize it's a fantasy world, you have already overcome it. If you are in it, you will think it's a reality. The moment you have labeled it, it's my fantasy world, safe, you have already come to the shore. There are no more drowning in it, okay? Just don't worry. It's good to have dreams sometime. And think big, have dreams, but at the same time don't lose the touch of reality. Yeah? Dance happens not when both feet is stuck to the ground. One is firmly on the ground, the other is up in the air. Life also, you should see the practicality, not lose the ground reality. At the same time, you should dream something different, something bigger, something higher. Whatever appears to be sometimes impossible. Again here, everything, something is totally impossible, then you are not true to yourself. Yeah? That is that grey area. You don't think it is totally impossible and you don't think it's totally possible also. Somewhere in between, that yes, I can make it, I can do it. That is the dream that you should hold on to.
Dear Guruji, നിഹ സങ്കൽപ്പ സുഖി ഭവ. സങ്കല്പങ്ങൾ ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ സുഖം ഭവിക്കും. എങ്കിൽ എന്തിനാണ് നമ്മൾ സങ്കല്പ പൂജ ചെയ്യുന്നത്? Without sankalpas, it is better, it is said. So why do we do the sankalpa puja?
Yeah. To become Nisankalpa. Yeah, Nirvikalpa. So, Sankalpa, Vikalpa keeps coming in the mind all the time. So, to become Nirvikalpa, no Vikalpas or Sankalpa, Sarva Sankalpa Sannyasi, Yogi, Nahya Sannyasta Sankalpo, Yogi Bhavati Kaschana. If you don't let go all the Sankalpa, you cannot become a yogi. So, in order to get that ability to let go of all the Sankalpa, is all these pujas and Sakama Karma, Seva, all this is done to get to that. Yeah? There is no, it is not you must do it. All the sankalpas are for to focusing, sankalpa pujas and all that is focusing our attention in one direction. Because life cannot happen without any sankalpa at all. In life you have to get sankalpa. You want even to come and sit here, want to listen to knowledge, is a sankalpa. Want to go and have food, is a sankalpa. Want to do something good, is a sankalpa. Want to do seva, is a sankalpa. And want to be free of sankalpa is again another sankalpa. So, the Upanishad said you need both, vidya and avidya. Paravidya and aparavidya, both. Sambhuti, asambhuti. Both one has to take in a balance and go.
Jai Gurudev, in one meditation I heard, time is within you and flowing through you. Does this mean we can control time? If so, how?
Yeah. You can turn the watch back and forward. You can keep the time. And if you keep the time, that is controlling the time. Got it? Can you keep the time? Can you be on time? Fix the time and move with that? Certain events in your life you can control, certain events you cannot. Life is a combination of both free will and destiny. You cannot say, I'll control everything. And you can't say, I have no control over anything. Both are not correct. Are you getting what I'm saying? If you say, I have control over everything, then that is not also true. If you say, I have no control over anything, that is also not true. Somewhere in between. I'll give you a simple example. After 21, your height cannot be increased, right? Can you grow taller after 21? Not possible at all. Yeah? Your height, you cannot change after 21. But your weight you can change anytime. You can't tell me I cannot change my weight. You can grow horizontally, you can't grow vertically. You can shrink also. Yeah, if you are weighing 100 kilos, you can't say I cannot change. Why not? Get onto the treadmill and walk and eat less. You see, in 1 month you can reduce your weight. Right? So certain things we can change. Similarly, you cannot stop the rain from coming. But it is your choice whether to get wet or not get wet. You can put on a raincoat, you can take an umbrella, you don't even go out of the home, you won't get wet. So, certain things you can change, certain other things you cannot. Yeah? So, life is not all fatalistic. Did you get it? Yeah? Very good.
ഗുരു അറിയാതെ നമ്മളിൽ ഒന്നും സംഭവിക്കുന്നില്ല. എങ്കിൽ നമ്മുടെ തിന്മകളും മോശം സ്വഭാവങ്ങളും ഗുരുവിൻ്റെ അറിവോടെയല്ലേ? അത് മാറ്റുന്നതും ഗുരുവല്ലേ?
I have already now explained to you. Huh? You know, your mother cooks food at home and puts you even in your plate. But to eat or not eat is your job. Got it? Like that, when you have that deep connection or your deep urge to get rid of any bad habit, the deep prayer will make it change. How many of you have your habits have changed? Raise your hand, let me see. See, so many of you could let go your habits.
ഗുരുവിൽ ദൈവത്തെ ദർശിക്കുവാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ പിന്നെ ക്ഷേത്രങ്ങളിൽ പോകേണ്ടതുണ്ടോ? ഗുരുപൂജ മാത്രം മതിയാവില്ല?
അത് മതി.
Dear Guruji, avabodha bodha concept. Guruji, can you please differentiate and explain this?
Something you understand through intellect, something beyond intellect, you feel it. Right? You can give a big talk about love, but a dog will tell you what love is. So one is understanding through intellect, that is also necessary. Another that comes to you as an experience through vibrations. Yeah? Life, both are essential.
Gurudev, yesterday you had said one should not get too close to a Raja or stay away from a Guru. What should be the attitude of the king with his Guru?
King should not assume himself as a king all the time. When he comes to a Guru, he should become like an ordinary human being.
Associated question. Guru should not get close to the king and king should not stay away from the Guru. Which option is the right one, Gurudev?
You know, if from Guru's eyes, if you see that everybody is part of himself. So it is all just the roles one play. Everyone, first of all, we should remember we are part of one divine light, one human being, one human race. Everyone belongs to one human race. And so we cannot afford to be stuck in a role. We should keep changing our coats. Each role is like a coat, right? So we have to play all the roles perfectly. So when someone comes to a teacher, then they come as a student and only student. Yeah? Similarly, for a teacher, for a guru, everybody is same, whether they are rich, poor, or stupid, or very intelligent. Everyone is same.
Gurudev, in the Shiva Purana, it says that anyone who worships Shiva is freed from all sin. Does this mean that corruption begins at the top?
No, no, it is not, corruption means what, that? What is not right, doing what is not right, that is corruption. Huh? That you don't wish to be done to yourself or your kith and kin, someone very close to you. Puja and corruption, you cannot link them. Puja means a feeling that comes out of you with fullness. Like a guest come to your home, you come in the door and receive them. Someone very dear to you, they are coming. Don't you rush to the train station or to airport to receive them? Yes or no? Huh? So this is coming out of compulsion or out of a feeling? Feeling. You can tell them, okay, you take a taxi and come my home. No, but you take your vehicle, you go, you receive them. What is the feeling there? Why do you have to do? That cannot be called a corruption. So puja means that which comes out of the fullness. So, Puranas, many things are written. I am not an advocate of all the Puranas. Don't take me that way. Because many of them are just way of expressing. In fact, the word Purana means new way of expressing. The Hindi Purana and Sanskrit Purana have totally opposite meaning. In Hindi, Purana means old. In Sanskrit, Purana means very new, latest, modern. That's the meaning it has. So, it's a very, very, various different way to express. Don't call that as a corruption. You are not, the God is not so foolish to wait for your one coconut that you break a coconut and he gives you a boon. He cannot be so stupid. No. All these pujas you do to express your fullness, not to please God. I think it's a very wrong concept in the world. We think we're doing things to please God. Wrong understanding. When people fast for many days, think they may please God. This is the first, it's a misunderstanding. You fast to purify your body, that is good enough. Don't have to fast to please some God up in the heaven. There's nothing like that. It's wrong understanding. Yeah?
Gurudev, what is the relevance of morality in the real world when divinity is considered beyond morality, like in the case of Krishna?
See, morality is what you don't want someone else to do to you. That is morality. Basic principle of morality is, if you don't want your husband to flirt with someone, you should not flirt with another someone else's husband. That is it. There was one guy who came and told, this one boy was going around with other married women, and he didn't feel it was wrong. I said, what is wrong? Mutual consent we went. I asked him, look, you have a brother and you have your brother's wife. someone goes with your brother's wife, what you will do? I say, I will break his leg. I'll break him. When you have such a thing for your brother's wife, you think that she should be loyal to her husband. And how can you do this to someone else? It struck a chord in him. Suddenly he said, oh yes, what I was doing is wrong. I said, if there is a future in the relationship, it's a different thing. There is no future. Why do you break someone else's family? Yes, I'm doing wrong. That is morality, you know. What you would not wish to be done to you or your near and dear ones, you should not do to someone else. You don't want someone else to misbehave with your daughter, your son. And how can you do that with someone else's daughter or son? Basic principle of morality. You don't want your driver to drink and drive, or someone coming in front of you to be drunk while driving. And can you do this? You are drunk and you can drive? Suppose you are driving a car and a car is coming in front of you. What would you expect the driver to be? Sane, right? You don't expect that driver to be drunk and driving. In the same way, we should also not. You don't want anyone else to rob you of your wealth or cheat you. You should not cheat someone else. Suppose someone does a forgery of your signature. Well, what is morality? It's all very simple. I mean, mundane, we are higher, we are spiritual. So what? Someone can forge a signature on the check. Would you accept it? Someone forges your signature. Would you accept it? It's all Maya anyway. My signature, we are all one family. We're one family. Gurudeva said, my signature is signature, signature. So what? My purse is same as his purse is same as mine. If someone puts their hand into your pocket, would you say, oh, it's all one, we're all one, we're mine and yours, why do you have all this ego? How many times you have heard, we are all one divinity, part of one big family. No. This is misuse of knowledge. Right? If knowledge is used to shield the immoral activity, that is misuse of knowledge. Got it? Morality means not to do anything which you don't wish to be done to yourself. And that is it. Shall we meditate? You are all comfortable? Everybody happy? Very nice.